What's up guys? Welcome to our presentation of differentiating 21st century literary genres presented to you by Group 4. Before we begin our presentation, let's have a short and simple game of which is which. In this game, you'll have to guess which literary genre fits the image I'm going to show. Your choices are graphic fiction and flash fiction. Are you ready? Let us start. Congratulations! Wasn't it fun? Now, without further ado, let's get right into the presentation. Our objectives for today are to describe graphic fiction and flash fiction, to present similarities and differences between graphic fiction and flash fiction, and to show an appreciation on modern literary genres. The presentation of Ma'am Dana's group allowed you to dive into various 21st literary genres such as digifiction, illustrated novel, manga, chick lit, doodle fiction, and text talk novels. In this presentation, you will be learning the different structures and features of other two modern literary genres, graphic fiction and flash fiction.
Graphic fiction, or a graphic novel, is a complete narrative that is equivalent in form and dimension to the prose novel, Campa 281. The pictures are arranged in sequence in image panels and dialogues are written in speech bubbles. The illustrations allow readers to imagine and experience the characters and events in the story. Here are some of the features graphic fiction or graphic novel according to Tyche, 2012. Photographic forms are the mark of author's handwriting, which creates an impact that the whole novel is a manuscript and thus provides a sense of intimacy. Graphic novels encourage interactivity in the minds of the reader as he fills in the blank between image panels. Filling blanks between image panels makes the reader imagine actions portrayed in the story. The language, syntax, and meaning of a graphic novel spring primarily through the relationship between images than words. Graphic fiction combines book and screen.
Some of the examples of graphic novels are the following. In the Shadow of No Tower 9/11 by Art Spiegelman in 2004, which tells the story about a terrorist attack on September 11 in America. This also depicts the traumatic and tragic experiences of American people during the 9/11 terrorist attack. The Barn Owl's Wanderscapers by Sarnath Banerjee in 2009 portrays 18th century Calcutta exploiting the myth of the Wandering Jew. Louis Riel by Chester Brown in 2003 is a fictionalized violent rebellion in the 19th century on the Canadian Pierre, who led by Riel.
Flash fiction is imaginative literature of extreme brevity. It could range from a word to 1,000. In Gaksan 2018, it is known as micro-stories, postcard fiction, nanotales, and short shorts. According to Sustana in 2020, most of the flash fictions have these common characteristics. Number 1. Brevity. Flash fiction represents the story with fewest words as possible. Number 2. Complete plot. Flash fiction emphasizes the development of plot. It has a beginning, middle, and ending of the story. Number 3. Surprising ending. The successful hallmark of a flash fiction is its twist at the end of the story.
Here's some of the flash fiction. Angels and Blueberries by Tara Campbell. It's a story of various explanations for the color of the sky that involves angels and blueberries. First lines. Why is the sky blue? You ask. Well, it all depends on who's answering. Taylor Swift by Hans Baim Steenberg tells a weird story of how anyone can order a perfectly clone of Taylor Swift at his doorstep. First line, "You're in love, it's great." You swipe on your phone and order. The next day, a Taylor Swift clone shows up at your house. Unnecessary Things by Tatiana Tolstaya is a story of finding an old and torn teddy bear. Unnecessary things, items that do not serve any useful purpose, that she adored as a child. First lines, this teddy bear once had amber eyes made from special glass. Each one had a pupil and iris. The bear itself was gray and stiff with wiry fur. I adored him.
Now we proceed to the Q&A. The question is, what are the differences and similarities of a graphic fiction and a flash fiction? Similarities. They both have a story with a beginning, middle, and conclusion. This distinguishes it from a prose poem or a vignette, which can simply explore an emotion, memory, or thought.
Differences. Graphic fiction was a significant interaction of words, picture, boards, and typography, wherein pictures are organized in consecutive picture. Boards and words are given in discourse bubbles and content boxes. The concrete example of this was a comic novel, while flash fiction may be a sort of fiction defined as an awfully brief story, whereas there's no set word check that isolates flash fiction from more conventional brief stories. Strict fiction stories can be as brief as a couple of words, whereas brief stories ordinarily run for a few pages.
Summary. Graphic fiction are comic books that are the length of a book. They can be collections of shorter stories or individual comic strips, but they can tell a single continuous narrative from first to last page. Flash fiction is a fiction genre that is defined as a very short story. While there is no set word count that distinguishes flash fiction from traditional short stories, flash fiction stories can be as few words. The similarities are that both graphic fiction and flash fiction tells a story and have an ability to communicate with the readers, while the difference are graphic fiction tells a story using text and pictures arranged in sequence, where flash fiction is a story writing that has a beginning, middle, and an end.
Reflection. The importance of graphic fiction is that it's a valuable contemporary genre that helps to spread literary knowledge to a wider audience. The importance of flash fiction because of its ability to convey deep truths and universal human emotion in just a few short paragraphs. When done well, can convey profound truths and connect with readers from all walks of life.
And that concludes our presentation. I hope you learned something new today. Thank you for listening. And as always, keep on learning.